So what were the best albums of 2025? Let's get into it. Well, it's that festive time once more where we tend to reflect on the musical gifts of the year. And who knows, some of them might actually find their way into your stocking on Christmas Day. And there are no progressive rock albums on this list, as I'm going to do a separate top 10 of 2025 specifically for that genre. If you're new to this video, please do click like, subscribe, check that notification bell, do all that stuff. It certainly helps the algorithm along, and check some of the links below this video for ways you can support the sterling work done at the channel. Anyway, enough of this piffle. So what were the best albums of 2025? Let's get into it. Number 10 is The Revenge of Alice Cooper by Alice Cooper. This is the first album of original material that this band have put out since 1973's Muscle of Love. They've even used some guitar by Glenn Buxton on this album. You could argue he perhaps contributes more to this album than he actually did on Muscle of Love. We get lots of macabre songs and songs about murderous intent and ghoulish goings-on, all overseen, of course, by Bob Ezrin. And if this album proves anything, it's that this band have not lost their edge over the decades. A thoroughly decent comeback album with Alice musing about sinking his fangs into us as a black mamba, a serial killer, and lots of glorious camp vaudevillian rock and roll. Number 9 is Viagra Boys and the album Viagra Boys. This scuzzy Swedish post-punk outfit have been on my playlist at the gym. I've been thoroughly enjoying it. Their signature dance punk, post-punk sludge with sharper production and deeper emotional vulnerability expressed in the absurd satirical lyrics about modern life, meat and self-identity. And the opening track Man Made of Meat is a kind of a punk-funk anthem, with lyrics that fluctuate between the absolutely hilarious and the strangely serious. And if this album exudes one essential truth, and that is, according to NME, that love is the only thing that will stop us losing our minds in the face of reality's horrors. A really gnarly album that I enjoy working out to. Number 8 is Little Feat and Strike Up the Band. This is a band I'd kind of written off after their 70s heyday. But this record coming off 2024's very bluesy Sam's Place really surprised me. We see a return to that swampy R&B like a comfy pair of slippers, or a fat man in the bathtub with the blues perhaps, or booze as it's that time of year. Bill Payne is the only original member of this band, and I must admit I was worried that it would sound tired or perhaps like Little Feat by numbers, but I was astonished how dynamic and vibrant it all sounded. But this beautifully references the very foundations of this band's sound. It goes down smooth like a 10-year-old single malt. Strike Up the Band is a great record, and I think it's even enthused me to perhaps try and catch them live next year. And number 7 is Neil Young and Chrome Hearts and Talking to the Trees. This album introduces a new band which combines the musical muscle of Crazy Horse with the more acoustic shades of his low-key material, shall we say. And on this album, Talking Trees, Neil has a lot to say, making that link between Tesla and fascism, or the impending environmental catastrophe that's heading for us in harvest shades of brown and orange. And there's some nice porch moments on this album. If you're a fan of this guy's sort of plaid shirted acoustica, I think you're going to like this one. But there's some heavier numbers on here as well, just to prove that Gramps can still rock. But I think this album is wonderful, and it certainly makes my top 10 list. Number 6 is Pearl-Handled Revolver and Tales You Lose. This is a dark, psychedelic blues band that often be described as their best yet. It beautifully references that sort of pulsating organ sound, although I'm not sure we're allowed with the YouTube algorithm, I'm not sure we're allowed to say pulsating organ. Nevertheless, it references that very distinctive keyboard sound we'd associate with bands like The Doors and Iron Butterfly. This is absolutely wonderful stuff, and to quote a Metal Planet, the primal blends seamlessly with the sophisticated. I must admit they have a sound that I really dig, as I love all that psychedelia. Not necessarily the frothy, sunny stuff, but the darker, more brooding material like the Electric Prunes. Never seen these guys live, must rectify that. Number 5 is The Darkness and Dreams on Toast. Well, it's been 20 years since Permission to Land, when this band really announced themselves, all teeth and testicles. They certainly took the rock world by storm with their distinctive histrionic vocals and arse-hugging leotards. And they've gone on to prove the naysayers wrong with their relentless and bludgeoning live shows and their glam referencing brand of hard rock. They are a Marmite band, but I like Marmite. This band continues down the same sweaty crevice they've been ploughing for years, balancing catchy kitchen sink arena rock tunes, all about that fabled rock and roll lifestyle. But there is a serious edge to this band. You have to get through all the lippy and mascara to actually get to it. This is a great rock record. Number 4 is Cheap Trick and All Washed Up. This band have produced another masterclass in hard rock power pop. The self-referencing title, of course, alludes to their 1980 album All Shook Up, as well as cleverly referencing the plight of rock and roll veterans to try and stay relevant in a modern world. All Washed Up is an excellent album that harkens back to this band's 70s sound. Although given the theme, maybe with a slightly ironic timbre to it all. A punkily raucous album that proves these septuagenarians, my word, I managed to say it, are very much in control of their craft 40 years since their debut record. What a great album this is. Number 3 is Sparks and Mad. This album is a commentary on the modern world, and they're not adverse to doing that. I mean, this is the band that put out Baby Can I Invade Your Country. This album blends classic Sparks themes of dark theatricality, fresh sounds, intricate arrangements, and memorable melodies. They deliver a near-perfect distillation of everything that makes them so odd and oddly compelling. This broadly sketched satire and elaborate sonics work perfectly with songs like Jan, Sport, Backpack, and Running Up a Tab at the Hotel for the Fab. This album combines that taut synth rock grind with a usual camp vaudevillian poke at the modern world, which is mad, by the way. Number 2 is Suede and Antidepressants. This album sees this band abandoning those lavish, grandiose atmospheres of the previous albums to return to a more post-punk guitar spikiness on this, their 10th studio album. It's a dark yet life-affirming work and deals with themes such as middle age, death, alienation, and of course reinvention, all the good stuff. And Brett Anderson's voice has a soulful weight to it and a lyricism that, if I may quote AllMusic, still conjures up that darkly romantic gothic feel and has poetic gravitas. And those youthful flirtations with drugs and death have been replaced with an autumnal wisdom. A stunning album that embraces both anthemic uplift and bittersweet lyricism. And number 1 is Robert Plant and Saving Grace. Robert Plant, the mained one, returns with this specific brand of music which can be best described as kind of a rootsy Americana revivalism. The music on this album sounds as if it's been kind of dusted off, shall we say. This is Americana via blues, country, gospel and soul. There's even a number by Memphis Minnie, which he's probably given her credit for, actually, on this album, which is a surprise. But also, there's some interesting covers on this record, including by the band Low. Fantastic band. Love that band. A band, of course, that were devastated by the loss of Mimi Parker. There is a rich, lush feel to the rusty shades of this music and the sensual croak of Robert Plant. His voice no longer soars, but it's still a thing of beauty. So there you are, that's my list of the top 10 albums of 2025, and to what extent do you agree with it? Please leave your comments below. So let me know which one of these you're going to put on your Christmas list, and other than that I'll just leave you with my closing salvo, which is hope you're well, staying safe, and of course that you keep listening.